Okay. So how was the trading week so far? Profit, loss, break even?
Sudden loss.
Oh, it's not good.
Indeed. But this trading, so.
Yeah, summer trading is always not too good. I think last year or 2 years ago we had very, very good summer. That was beyond expectations. I can't remember what was the market moving force or dynamics, but it was a very good summer. Actually, I think we made more money than during spring. But this summer happened to be the same old usual low liquidity, crap liquidity type of summer. Let's see. So, welcome back everyone. Today's NFP. We are going to have in 25 minutes. The forecast is the same as before, expected to be lower. And I was expecting lower NFP as well. Sorry, higher NFP. And this morning I had an analysis that price, gonna go up a little bit. Successfully managed to lock in about 130 pips profit, which was a good start of my first day back into work. That was very good. And hours passed, price action, the typical consolidation, the usual consolidation that you see prior to NFP. If you look at the bigger picture, you can see that we have a downward sending channel. We have a consolidation, daily pivot, price is very close to the daily pivot, and weekly pivot is significantly higher. Now, prior to today, there were some market moving events this week. The first one was obviously, was it GDP? No, the Powell speech back in 22nd of July. Then we had US GDP, which was significantly higher than expected. So it was 3%. So very good growth in the US, very inflationary. And that's why gold got hammered about 700 pips. And before that, reaching the 700 pips, we had an interest rate decision on Wednesday with a press conference where Jerome Powell reassured the market that they're not in a rush to cut interest rate and they need obviously more data because the Fed is making decision based on data-dependent approach. How the market translated this event or this press conference was clearly the market participants, traders and investors, their hopes of an interest rate cut got hammered down. and that's why the market sold off. But then it was quickly recovered prior to NFP, or before NFP. You can see that this was the bottom, the channel, and then that 700 pip drop was recovered about 3/4 or 3/3, and since that pretty much price is moving sideways. And the question is, NFP sell or buy gold or anything else? Now, before we move on, for indices, I'm staying away from indices now because I was on holiday for 2 weeks and we had a pretty significant move since that. But if I had to align my bias on indices with gold, I would say indices going to pump today. And the reason for that, if you look back what happened quickly just on 3rd of July, because that was the last NFP. Strong NFP. Yep. Let's look at US 30. When was it? Yep, this is it. Can you see this big bump? Where is it? 2nd of July, 3rd of July. This was the NFP pump. Higher NFP. So today the forecast says NFP is going to be lower than expected. But with the information that Jerome Powell hinted on the Wednesday press conference, I would say NFP is going to be not significantly higher, but it's going to be strong. And the reason for that, when you look at the labor market dynamics, unemployment rate is currently at 4%, 4.2%. Hasn't increased significantly, even though the immigration bill that has been passed, or the orders that the president issued. When you look at the labor market statistics and trends, you can see that JOLTS job openings still pretty solid. So companies are advertising, but the job creation hasn't been that significantly high. So when you look at NFP, there is a downward trend. So you can see that month on month, the jobs getting a little bit less and less. 228, 177, 139, 147. So we still have ups and downs, but if you look at the general trend, 4 months, the last 4 months, job creation hasn't been above 200,000. So there's definitely a weakening in the labor market, but as Jerome Powell said on Wednesday, we should not believe that the labor market is weak for one reason, that with the less job creation, unemployment is still stay strong, because there was loads of outflow of labor supply from the US because of the immigration policies, but also the jobs became less and less. But those jobs being taken up by the currently unemployed people. So that means, or that signals, that the US job market is still, he used the word resilient. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So if you look at the past NFPs, or just enough you look at the last month, you can see that labor market is still doing very well. And I switched my bias today into a sell. So we managed to lock in 130 pips profit on the gold buys, but price failed to break out, didn't yet break out from this consolidation, which the market structure is still intact. And if we have a higher NFP today, then gold is going to smash through the daily pivot and going to melt down probably all the way to 3,230. If you have a significantly lower NFP, which is deflationary, or the market welcomes it as deflationary and probably expects 2 rate cuts instead of 1 this year, because the rate cut expectation in the US has gone down only to 25 basis points. So how we started the year with 25, it's gone up to 75 over the summer because the good labor market data. It's gone down to 25 again with the press conference of Powell and also with the summary of economic projections, which was released 2 months ago. So when you look at that data, actually it was last month, yeah, that's 2 months. So when you look at the summary of economic projection, which was the projection issued by the FOMC, statistics that what they expect in terms of growth, labor market, and what's the third one? Inflation. So, and that was wasn't too bad, but the Fed was expecting inflation to stay elevated, growth to about 1 to 2%, and instead GDP just came out this week was actually 3%. So with that, I changed my bias today into a sell. Maybe right, maybe not. We're going to see it in about 17 minutes. 2 positions open on gold, currently running in about minus 26 pip drawdown, and I'm expecting a higher NFP. Not significantly, but higher. If you have a significantly higher NFP, that's going to be very, very good, because that means gold will go back into the channel and continue its way down to 3,230. And if you look at, the past few months, you can see that how many channels we had. So this market structure, this price action, is pretty common for the last 4, 5, 6 months maybe, and easy to trade. Of course, we had the breakouts, which is difficult to forecast. Now, what do you think we need for a breakout today to the upside?
We need some lower job roll.
Yeah, welcome back, Kai. Absolutely. So we need lower NFP.
Yeah.
How low would you say is good?
Sub 100k.
Sub 100k. That would be pretty low. It hasn't been. The last time it was that low was last year, October, 12,000. So what do you expect on NFP today, Kai?
So I'm anticipating lower NFP. Recently a lot of the market has been reacting to the tariff news and data that's inflationary, but not as much directed at the job market. So I think investors are sort of shadowing the job market, and they're focusing on the tariffs and stuff like this a bit too much than what they should.
All right. So Kai, thank you so much. Are you long on gold then?
Yeah, I've got a tiny little lot. I'm turtle trading it, so I'm aiming for all-time highs.
All right. Let me just change the chart. So Kai is long and I'm short. Let's make a bet. I pay you a pizza if you got it right today.
No problem.
Looking at the yields.
How you been anyways?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, 2 weeks was pretty long vacation. I need to get back into the usual regular habits every day. Working out, eating well. It's always a bit difficult after holidays, but I think it's impossible. First day back into work. Looking at the yields, the 30 years US government bond yields back to very close to 4%. So it's 5%. It's 4.94. The 2-year on the short end is just below 4%, 3.96. You can see that we had it come down from about well above 4%, below 4%, and now it's just gravitating around the 3.9% levels, which is quite puts pressure on gold, but also keeps traders and investors on their feet. NASDAQ, asked by Uzair, same scenario as last week. So if we have a significantly or just a higher NFP, then US 30 and NASDAQ should pump up to the daily or the weekly pivot. So I wouldn't target anything higher, because we price lost quite a bit in the last few weeks, but hasn't been trading indices because I was on holiday. US 30, if we have a higher NFP, it's going to pump, and NASDAQ same. But I would take profit as soon as price reaches the daily and the weekly pivots. But if we have a lower NFP, in that scenario, it's a bit tricky. So I would play only one scenario on NASDAQ and US 30. And the reason why I said it's tricky, because on gold it's easy to tell whether it's going to go down or up, depending on lower or higher NFP. Now with indices, if you have a higher NFP that's, you know, strong labor market, more spending, quite inflationary, it's good for indices. But on the other hand, when you look at the yields, it keeps the pressure on companies' balance sheets in terms of the higher funding costs, for example, bank loan. The higher yields put pressure on companies' financials. So that could be a buy then use and sell the fact type of scenario. That's why on indices such as NASDAQ and US 30, if we have a higher NFP, I would go long on NASDAQ, but take profit at the weekly and the daily pivot. I hope you answered your question. Let's have a look on the positions. So I'm running in about minus 30 and 40 pips drawdown. Bear in mind, this morning we had 130 pips profit on gold.
Tomasz, I've been out of the loop with the earnings season. What's been going on with Amazon? I think they beat estimates, didn't they? Or
I haven't followed, to be honest.
yeah, I've been out of it as well, to be fair. Yeah, do some recapping on the weekend.
Yeah, I need to catch up. I haven't been following the news actively, so just the most important, you know, the Fed communications and some of the major news, tariffs. Nine minutes, eight and a half minutes. So today, two short positions on gold. Who is Zoom user? Okay. All right. So today we have NFP, the notorious NFP, one of the most misforecasted data releases in the US. The forecast is set to be 109, 106,000 versus 147 previously. And today on gold, if we have a lower NFP as per the forecast, you can see that 106,000 versus 147. So if that comes out and if the forecast is correct, we could see gold pump all the way back well above 3,300. Currently I have two positions running in a slight drawdown, not too much. And if we have a higher NFP, then gold will go back into this downward sending channel and the probability that to drop to 3,230. Now higher NFP means that the Fed is on the right track, holding interest rates higher for longer. And when we look at the fixed income market, you can see that the short end of the yield curve is very close to 4%, 3.96. The long end is close to 5%. So even though we had a slight decrease in yields in the last few weeks, now it came back to around 4% on the short end. And it's been the trend for quite a long now, over a year, to move or gravitate towards 4%. Now this puts pressure on gold because the government bond yields reflect on the federal funds rate. And if we have higher NFP today, then gold will definitely revisit 3,230. But if Kai is right today with lower NFP, then I get closed out of my positions and price will go back to 3,350 or even higher depending on the number. And we got 6 minutes left. Remember that today we also have ISM non-manufacturing data release, or ISM manufacturing PMI, sorry. And this is very important. The producer purchasing manager index. And usually I would recommend not to hold positions until ISM. So if you catch the direction right, make sure that you lock in profits before the 3 o'clock ISM PMI. And the reason for that is because the ISM PMI could show a completely different picture of the US economy. And it can flip the markets, especially because it's 30 minutes after the New York Open. So be careful, guys. I won't be trading live the ISM PMI. I will be sending out analysis for the members, but I won't be trading. I'm trading today non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and average hourly earnings. And we got 5 minutes left. 2 short positions running on gold. Today we made already 130 pips on this slide. Is there a question? Okay, no question. So, where was I? Yeah, 2 positions on gold, running in slight drawdown. My forecast is same as the last month, where strong labor market data came out higher than expected. That put bearish pressure on gold and pushed down prices about 700 pips. Now, because we had a communication from the Fed on Wednesday, the press conference, Jay Powell, he didn't give too many clues, but one thing I strongly remember, or clearly remember, was that they're going to hold rates higher for longer, as long as necessary. And he also mentioned about the labor market that even though the job creations on jobs job openings is high, NFP is still strong, and because the labor market supply, the job market is able to accommodate for the excess unemployed. And this is why you see the unemployment rate in the US is gravitating close to 4% in the last few years. So sometimes it's a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher, but it's consistent and there's not much surprise. And yep, if NFP comes out higher, gold will melt. NFP lower, gold will pump. And it's the opposite for indices. So if NFP comes out higher, US 30 is going to pump, but I would lock in profits as soon as it hits the daily and the weekly pivots, because we could have a buy the news and sell the effect type of scenario. If NFP comes out lower, Now most likely US 30 is going to melt to hell. Let's have a look. We got 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And once the NFP data is out, I'm going to, depending on whether it's a win or a loss, I'm going to hold on for a few minutes and then I'm going to go pick up my sum. So it will be a short stream. And remember that after NFP in 2 hours, an hour and 30 minutes, you have ISM PMI, which is could flip the markets. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, quick question, Tamas. I can see here the ISM PMI is manufacturing. Isn't the US is more of a service-based economy? Wouldn't that be significant than manufacturing?
Yes, but the market is always reacting to ISM. It always reacts.
Okay.
We saw it dozens of times, if not, hundreds, that every NFP the market is flipped.
Okay.
We got 1 minute and 30 seconds. Those who watch YouTube, please hit the like button, show some support. If you're interested to join the Alpha FX community, new pricing is up on the website, but the new website is still under development, so you can join at these prices. Go to alphafx.eu. Okay, 1 minute. "38 seconds. Place your bets. I'm running 2 short positions on NFP, speculating on slightly higher and strong jobs data, which was a clue from Jay Powell himself. We've got 15 seconds. And we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And non-farm payrolls data should be out. Can you see
Yeah,
it?
sub 100k, 83,000.
Oh, closing down the buys, the sells, sorry.
73,000.
Let's go back. That's quite low.
Yeah, 73,000. Previous was 14,000.
Yeah. Entering into a buy with 5 lots.
Wait, what? I don't know if my investing.com is bugging, but it's saying the previous was 14,000.
What?
Yeah, I think it's trying to say it's got revised to 14. I'm not.
Yeah,
not
it
sure.
does. It does. Mine shows
Yeah.
the same.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yep. The Fed needs to cut interest rate as soon as possible.
Well, it is melting.
Yep. I'm gonna have a quick look on indices. Let's see how the market is reacting. US 30 should melt to hell, along with NASDAQ.
Wow, gold's pumping.
Yep. 40 pips profit, £2,000.
Ah. That's what we like to see, isn't it, Tamas?
Yep. 3,000. Come on, 3,000.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Come on, pump it up. That was low enough NFP for gold to pump. Why is the market? Yeah, it should pump even higher. 72 pips, 76. And now reach £3,000 profit, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you react to news. When you understand the economics behind the market moving dynamics, economics, you can make profit, but you have to make a plan, and then you can make profit.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you so much. There you go, 3,300. Close to 4,000 pounds profit.
All-time high is incoming. Holy damn.
Probably not new all-time high, but significantly high.
So
Yeah, I'm going to lock in 3K. I'm not gonna risk. I'm not gonna risk that much money.
yeah, I've only got a 0.25 lot, and it's
4,000.
just
Should I leave it? It's
a special
3K.
trade. Yeah, take partials, Tamash. I mean, make the money, take the money, isn't it?
Yeah, I took 3,000 pounds.
And then just leave it-
Fuck it. It's 2,996 pounds.
Oh.
Damn it. I hate it. I love round numbers.
I'm definitely gonna leave some runners on.
Well, with the profit this morning, with the
'cause you were
profit,
long
I've got
this
the
morning
other
from-
3K.
You
Yeah,
were
yeah,
long
there
this
was a
morning for- yeah. Like 86, weren't you?
125, 130 pips profit. Prices keep climbing higher. I took profit. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, J Powell needs to cut rates.
Yep, he's gonna get some commentary from Powell, from Trump. What's the profit now? Ooh, 200 pips.
Yeah. Being ready to go. My entry was 95.
Very nice. Jossie Gist TV is asking, can we still enter to a buy? Normally I would say, you know, if the move has happened, I would just stay away, because you missed it. You missed the train, and I would just wait for a pullback. Let me show you on TradingView. So the ceiling, I think it could be the weekly pivot at 3,360. But, you know, this candle could pull back because of profit taking. And, you know, if you enter into long with 200 pip stop loss, you might be able to survive a significant pullback. I hate to enter during mid-move. It's suicide. Why don't you prepare next time with a plan if you missed the move? Let me show you my chart. You can see on TradingView that it's very simple scenario analysis. What if NFP comes out higher? What if NFP comes out lower? Obviously with you know, knowledge in economics, you can understand the market dynamics, with labor market, with, you know, those things. And once you got the scenario analysis, because I was short on NFP, as soon as the data came out, I lost about 400 pounds on the short position, but then I gained 3,000. Now it's 4,500 pounds on the longs because I switched immediately. So you have to react to the data as soon as it comes out.
It's that initiative.
Yeah, this is what I trained for years. Most people got scared, you know, when prices moving, but I didn't catch the exact bottom of the move, so it wasn't a perfect entry, but I was in time to enter, because when I looked at the data, I knew it's going to have significance and enough power to push gold well above 200 pips profit, or even 400. But I entered late, but not too late. But if someone asked me to enter now, I would say no, just stay away. But I can't give you financial advice, so it's your money, obviously. If you want to join the Alpha FX community to see my signals if I enter into live trade, go to the chat or below the video in the description. Enjoy the community.
Does that mean you're okay, pizza?
Oh yeah.
Who said that?
Clinton, you.
Ah, mate. Yeah, I do.
Sorry.
What pizza do you want, Kai?
Pepperoni for me, mate.
Best. Pepperoni's the best. What do you want? Papa John's or Domino's? Pizza Hut?
Domino's. Yeah, you have to have pepperoni with jalapenos though.
Well, whatever you want. I promise you a pizza. You got it right, so you deserve a pizza tonight.
Well, thank you very much. Sir.
Was only for him or for all of us?
It's only for him, guys. When I asked, what's your opinion about NFP? No one said anything. It was only Kai who spoke up.
Just kidding.
So he deserves it.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, thanks for that, Clinton. I appreciate it.
It's all right, no worries, no worries. Credit where it's due, you called it right.
Okay, I'm gonna lock in some more profits because that one lot I left as runner, it's now 1,500. So there's absolutely no freaking way I'm gonna leave 1.5K on the table. And let's see. Today, 1.5% on the account. Okay, so that is my MyFX book linked to my MetaTrader, and today's profit altogether around just below 4K, 3,800. That's let's call it 1.5%, which is not too bad for day's work.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. This year already, 155%.
Yep.
Astronomical.
Any idea what's going on with US 30? It seems to be pushing up.
Well, lower NFP, in my interpretation, it's difficult on indices because on one hand, when you have a lower NFP, indices or traders who trade indices could interpret this as a weakness in labor market and job market, which means less spending power. So it's going to be bad for the companies because they're going to have less revenue. People have no jobs, there's no job creation, then less revenue. On the other hand, the rate cut expectations now increased, which means that constant 4, 5, 6% interest rate pressure on companies' balance sheet could come down lower.
Yeah, I think it's also good to mention that these US 30 companies all these banks are starting to acquire Bitcoin now, so their earnings are going to be a lot more higher than what they usually are. So I think that could affect the prices of US30 also. I think it's something to take into account.
Yep. Is there anything in the economic calendar today? In the earnings calendar, sorry.
We have a quick gander.
Chevron, Exxon. Not too much.
No, nothing really.
Look at that.
Well, Berkshire Hathaway, that's about it.
Kai, when do you want your pizza?
Whenever's convenient, mate. After you get your little one, probably. Or maybe later in the evening, don't know. We've got SMCI as well on Tuesday. Oh no, that's next week. Yeah, I know it's there.
270 pips profit today. Close to 300.
Yeah, I do think gold's on its way to all-time high now, especially with the government.
All-time high?
Yeah. It's not just the NFP that I'm using as that for my confluences. I've also, the government are using gold to refinance their debt, so they're going to reprice that higher. They've already openly said that, so I do expect gold to start pushing quite high, to be fair.
You mean today or long term?
No, long term. But it's on its way there. I mean, I think this could be the bottom now for gold.
Would gold ever drop? There's a question on YouTube. I think you're asking the wrong questions, Jossie. You asked the question whether you can still enter it when it was the middle of the move, and now you're asking would ever drop. I interpret this question as should I enter into a sell? So you're looking for reversal. It's typical when the market is moving up, traders are selling. When the market is moving down, traders are buying, and that's how they lose money. Yeah, eventually it could drop, but you need a catalyst for that. So look at the tariff news, look at economic data, look at earnings reports, look at the fundamentals. Those are what move the markets, not trend lines and silly concepts from Telegram or Instagram. And we got almost 300 pips profit.
Adding to that question that person just asked you, on a bigger time frame, when he asked you, do you think the only thing that could make gold drop on a significant scale would be a global financial crisis?
That would push gold higher.
Exactly, but even then, isn't that safe haven? So what would actually push gold lower?
For example, not a recession, but signs which lead to a recession. For example, a significant slowdown. Oh, sorry, sorry. There's the opposite. So what would push gold lower? I think significant strengthening in the labor market would push gold lower. So if yields keep elevated, 330 pips. So if yields keep elevated and the risk of another interest rate increase would definitely push gold down to hell.
Well, like sub 3,000?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, guys, 330 pips profit. That's good enough for me. I'm going to call it a day. I hope you managed to catch some pips with me. See you all next week. Over the weekend, I will prepared next week's schedule with live tradings and morning briefings, and we get ready for September in the coming weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tomasz. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Bye. Kai,
Stay.
check your DMs later for your pizza.
I will do. Thank you.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see that the plan didn't go as expected, but then fine-tuned with the analysis and the scenario strategy, and managed to catch 320 pips on gold. If you want to learn how to trade financial markets, especially precious metals as gold, you can see my result on my FX book this year, straight up line, and you can go to alphafx.eu and sign up for a membership. You get daily signals, you get morning briefings on the high impact days, and of course live trading with me. So if you want to see my signals before I come on YouTube, and if you want to get notification, go and sign up. Thank you so much. This is the Alpha FX.